Okay, now guys, now you have seen this is only one load balancer, and it's a very simple and basic load balancer. So we will be having other load balancers which will come in our future classes. For now, I want to teach you something. Guys, with VMs, there is a big problem. Any idea what is the problem? I'll tell you guys. For example, this is your VM. This is your VM. And guys, it has, any VM will have a OS. We will create Linux VMs as well, guys. Maybe tomorrow we'll create Linux VM. Any VM will have an OS, correct or not? Yes, definitely there will be one OS. Now, guys, I want to deploy a dotted application inside this VM. I can do that. But for that, what do I need?
Image. ISO.
What do I need to deploy a dotted application inside a VM? Do you need .NET runtime? Remember, guys, have you installed .NET runtime to deploy the .NET application?
Yes.
Remember or not?
Yes.
And I want to deploy a Java application. Do I need Java runtime?
Yes.
Definitely. If you want to node only React, node runtime, I need to have Python runtime. So whatever application you want to deploy, its respective runtime you need to explicitly install. Correct or not? Otherwise, it won't work. Correct or not? Guys, correct or not?
Yes.
Okay. Is it the same case for the app services? App services, no need to install anything because at the time of creation, only we are giving one of the runtime we need. Correct or not? Are we selecting one runtime here? Guys.
Yes, yes.
So that is the reason no need to do any explicit thing. You simply deploy the application, it would work because the app service has that runtime. But your VM is an empty box. It doesn't contain anything. So you need to explicitly install it. Now, guys, can you please tell me if there is one VM, how many websites I can deploy in it? Any idea?
Number of.
No restriction. I can deploy 100 applications. But what will happen if I deploy more than 20 in a VM? What do you think?
System gets slow.
Yeah, definitely system will get slow. And guys, I'll tell you one scenario. Your system has only 5 applications, only 5. Still, it is performing very poorly. Here, I'll tell you the situation. What is the situation? First, you deployed a React application and you installed Node in it. Then you deployed Java application, installed Java runtime. Then you deployed Python application, you installed Python runtime. Like that, guys, what you have done? You deployed 4 different applications and you installed 4 different runtimes in the same machine. Now, guys, what will happen? Okay, now there are 4 applications now. One user has come. The first application is on .NET. He opened the .NET application. And guys, to work with that .NET application, .NET runtime will load it into the RAM. And guys, the application will be accessed by the user. Now, when other user comes, he tries to access the Java application. Again, Java runtime will be loaded onto the RAM. And what happened, guys? When you have more than 2 runtimes in a single VM, it will perform very poorly. Then what should be the solution, guys? Are you getting my point? Are you getting my point? You can't install more different runtimes in a single machine, guys. It will actually, one runtime will disturb the other one. When they load it into the RAM, only few users will get proper responses. Others need to wait because a lot of RAM or cache space has been taken by .NET runtime like that. Those types of issues will come. For example, there are 10 applications using on the same .NET runtime. There won't be any issue. Are you getting my point? All 10 will be very fast. Why?
All are working on the same time.
All are running on .NET runtime. Why only one runtime? No problem. Everything will work properly. But in real time, is that the case? No, na?
No, you don't.
Yeah. Now, okay. What should be the solution? Okay, there are 4 applications: .NET, Java, Python, React, and you want good performance. So what should be the case? What you will be doing? If you create 4 different VMs and if you deploy each and every runtime in one VM and if you deploy that application in it, is it a viable solution? Is it a good solution?
No, in single VM that is like not recommendable.
Yeah. And no. If you create 4 VMs for 4 applications, is it good?
So it consumes cost.
Guys, are you getting my point?
Cost effective, yes.
Is it good to create separate VMs for separate applications? What do you think?
No.
No, not at all. What's the main problem there?
Cost.
Cost will be increased. It's a very bad thing to deploy every one application. For one application, if you're going to create one VM, it's a very bad thing, guys. You won't do that. And guys, to remove this particular problem, the performance of these VMs, to improve the performance of these VMs, Docker has come into the picture. What has come into the picture? Docker. Yeah, what is Docker? I'll explain this. This is again with this whole week, guys. From this Monday to Friday, every day, you should not miss. Because most interview questions will ask from this week classes, guys. And all are very important classes. If you miss one, you won't understand the second class. Now, if you look at this picture,
Using this Docker is compressing all the applications, right?
no, it won't compress all the applications. It's not a good picture, just a minute. Otherwise, I'll drop. Look at here, guys. Now there is one VM. This is my one VM. The same VM, guys. It could be a Windows VM or Linux VM, any VM. This is my VM. I created this VM1. Here, guys, what will each VM will have its own OS that we know it. For example, Windows 2019 OS is this Windows Server 2019. Now, guys, what we need to do? We need to install Docker. There is the software, guys. Docker engine. And what will this do, guys? Once you have installed the Docker engine, what will that? I can divide my VM, the same VM, into multiple containers. These are all known as containers, guys. For example, this is my container 1. This container 1 will contain two things, guys. One is image, second is runtime. This is a container. Now this is container 1. Now I have second container. It will contain image 2 and runtime 2. Runtime of language.NET. Are you getting my point, guys? Now, this is my container 3. It will contain image 3 and runtime of Java example. Now, this is my third container. So, guys, in this way, what will I do? I will be creating containers like this. And each container will contain two things, guys. One is image. Image is nothing but application, guys. In Docker world, we never call an application as application. We call it as an image. Image is nothing but our website, guys, our application. And we all know to run that application, we need its runtime, correct or not? Without runtime, we can't run the application. Is it correct? Guys, correct? We need. So what we have done here, guys, we divided the same VM into 5 different containers, and each container will contain its own image and its own runtime. With this case, what will happen? Docker containers are very lightweight in nature. What is the meaning of that? Guys, the application could be any, it could be any complex one or a very big one. But when you deploy it to a container, it will be like very lightweight. It can be accessed very fastly. And guys, here, when I have divided this VM into 5 different containers, all hardware resources. What is an hardware resource? Is CPU speed hardware resource, guys? RAM size hardware resource? Hardware only, guys. 16 GB RAM, 4 CPUs. Then what will happen, guys? All images or containers will share equally the available resources. Are you getting my point? Guys, each container will use the exact equal partition of the CPU and RAM sizes, and one container will never interfere with the other container. When, for example, guys, there is a user 1, user 2, user 3. Now, user 1 is trying to access React application, which is in container 1. When he is accessing that React image on website, for him, he's actually accessing a VM where React runtime is installed. That means, guys, React assumes the whole VM will contain only one runtime, that is React. Are you getting my point? You are virtually dividing the same VM into, in this case, 3 different VMs. Are you getting my point, guys? Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
So here, what are we trying to do? We are trying to divide the same VM into multiple VMs, and each VM will contain only one runtime. Because of that, the application will be very fast. Are you getting my point? Guys, correct or not?
Right.
So for user 1, he thinks the entire VM is running all only React application, same way. User 2 will think, okay, the entire VM is running only .NET application. Like that, guys. With the introduction of the Docker containers, the performance of the VM has increased a lot. Did you get my point, guys? The reason, only 2 reasons. Because of the lightweight nature of the container, and one container will never interfere with the other container. Next, all the hardware resources equally shared among these containers. Are you getting my point? Have you all understood this or not?
So is this like a separating of that hard disk? Like we have a laptop, D drive, separating it.
Yeah, you can say that, guys. If 200 GB is there, you divide it into 540 GBs, and each 40 GB will have its own data in it. Correct?
Is that the same like this?
Same like this, but not exactly like that. But same thing, guys. You are actually dividing total VM into multiple VMs. Each VM will have its own runtime installed in it. Virtually, this is known as. Okay, I'll explain the data. Don't worry. First of all, guys, understood the topic. Do you understand the topic or not? What is the, tell me, guys, anyone tell me what is the problem with the VM? Traditional VM, what is the problem? Anyone?
We can't run multiple runtime in a single VM.
We can run, but what's the problem?
You get messed up.
Yeah, because of the RAM and CPU size, like the utilization will take more. Like if you run on the physical VM.
So
System
what will
get
happen?
slow.
What's the main problem?
System will get slow.
Yeah, performance will be very less, na, guys. It will perform poorly, correct? You will see a lot of latencies, a lot of delays. That's the problem. How can I remove that issue with one VM?
By introducing Docker.
By installing Docker on that VM. What happens if you install Docker on that VM?
Yeah, Docker software will manage all the applications which is running on the above the Docker software.
Yeah, what is the word for it? What it will manage?
It's a containers.
All containers. Here, all containers will be managed by the Docker. And what does a container contain?
It's application information, running libraries.
Yeah,
and
you should
runtimes.
count as image and runtime. Correct?
Runtime.
Image nothing but application. Runtime is nothing but its runtime. So each container will contain their own image and own runtime. Clear? Yes, clear or not?
Yes.
Sir.
Clear, not good. Now, what are we trying to do here, guys? Now, first of all, we have to know how to create Docker. First, guys, first assignment, what we will be doing? We will be installing or creating Docker containers on Azure cloud. That is the first application. We will be using some simple HTML website, which will be deployed to a Docker container in our cloud. Second, guys, what we will be doing? You will be creating a Windows VM and you will install Docker in it. Then we will deploy our own application to that Windows VM. Next, what we will be doing? We will be create a Linux VM and we will be installing Docker on it. And you will be deploying for Windows, we will use Python application. For Linux, we will be using .NET application. So guys, here we are going to deploy 3 projects in Docker by using Docker, guys. First, directly deploying a project to Docker container, which are available in the cloud. This is serverless approach. We don't have any separate VM, guys. You can actually create containers directly on the cloud. Are you getting my point? Guys. Yeah.
Yes.
What is the first method?
Creating container on cloud.
Creating
Serverless.
on our cloud. No need to install any Docker anywhere. Are you getting my point? That is the direct serverless approach. Now, say, what is the second approach?
Creating container on Windows VM.
That means we create a Windows VM, then we install Docker in it, then we deploy an application in that particular VM. Next method, we'll create a Linux VM, we install Docker in it, and we deploy our application into that machine. Guys, all 3 methods are completely different. There is no relationship between one to other, guys. Completely, entirely different. So, guys, now and one of the most important thing, guys. Now we all know what is Docker. Correct or not?
Is popular.
What?
Which approach is popular in real time?
In real time?
Which approach? And these 3 approaches. Approach they'll be using.
That will be decided by the architect. You don't have any control over that.
As a DevOps, as a DevOps engineer,
I personally always like to create containers on cloud. Very less to manage for us, and it will be very good to manage. But guys, that we don't have any control over it, correct? Whenever an architecture diagram is given to you, if it has Windows VM specified there, you have to create Windows VM only. Are you getting my point? And you have to install Docker on it, and you need to follow the steps. So guys, if you remember, there are the same application, guys, can be deployed to an app service or a storage account or a function app or a Docker container, that too on a Windows VM or Linux VM. Next, guys, Kubernetes cluster. How these many places are or services are there in the cloud? The same application can be deployed to all these services. Na? Why we are having these many services? Did you get my point? Did you get my question? The reason, guys, that depend upon the complexity of the application and how many users are there who are going to access it and what is the nature of the business. So, guys, depending upon that, your architect will select one method, and when he select this method, he will take cost also into the consideration. He will discuss everything, and finally he will create an architecture diagram. That is the design document, guys. When he has created that, you only need to create the services whichever are mentioned in the diagram. Are you getting my point? Guys, you there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
So we can't select anything, guys. Whenever you are given a project, you should not say, I will select app service, I will select VM, I will select Docker. You don't have any permission or any option to select. Whatever is written in the diagram, you have to create that. That is it, yes. Okay. Now, and one of the most important thing, guys, if you look at here, if it is Docker, guys, if it is Docker, for example, guys, this is one project. It's a Python project, guys. You asked to deploy this project to Docker container. That means it could be on Windows cloud, it could be on cloud or Windows or Linux. That doesn't matter. You have given the project and you need to deploy on Docker. And guys, if you look at the total project contents, if it has to be deployed in Docker, then it should contain a file called Docker file. Can you see? Without a Docker file, you cannot deploy any application inside a container. And what is this Docker file? This is Python application Docker file, guys. Just a minute, it is loading. If you look at here. Yes, today is almost theory class, but this is very, very important class, guys. Are you all following? If you look at it, guys, there are some certain steps which we'll be having in our Docker file. This is Python Docker file. Now, I'll show another project. If you look at here, this is a React application, guys. Real estate project. If you open this is a simple React Docker file. In the same way, I'll show another project. Where is that? Just a minute. This is .NET application, guys. It is also having one file called Docker file. If you look at here, we have seen 4 projects. Each project is having different Docker file. And just remember, if someone asks you to deploy any project on Docker, first thing, what should you look for? That project has this Docker file in it or not? Are you getting my point or not? Guys, clear or not? What is this Docker file? Okay, what does it contain? I'll explain everything tomorrow. Don't worry. For now, guys, it is very, very important for you guys to know. You need to look for a certain file in the project files. Generally, who will be giving the project files to you?
Developer.
Developer will. We all know. Now, guys, when developer, and can you please tell me, when he has written the project file, will he give the Docker file? What do you think?
No, we have to.
You guys, 50% of the cases, he will be writing a Docker file and he will be giving that to us. In other 50% of the cases, we have to create our Docker file. And guys, Docker file will be different for language to language. Are you getting my point? Now, you simply look for, actually, guys, if you open ChatGPT, you just type I'll explain, guys, what a Docker file will contain. Because in interview, they will be giving you the Docker files. Just type .NET Docker file. Yes. Directly it will give. Can you see this? This is the simple Docker file for .NET language. Only you need to change the name of the project. That is it, guys. Now let us see. React Docker. Just type that. It will give that to you. You can see. You can simply use the same Docker file, but you have to change the name of the project. Very few things you need to change. Are you getting my point? If the programmer doesn't give the Docker file to you, you can simply generate it from ChatGPT or Google. You can get it. But what you need to know, guys, what is written inside it? Guys, for example, can you please tell me? Okay, we don't have much time today, but I'll try to complete this. Guys, if you look at this particular Docker file. Okay, so you need to spend good time. Don't worry. Tomorrow I'll discuss this. So, guys, in interview, Remember, guys, two things you need to know. First, they will be asking, have you ever deployed .NET project in any Docker setup? So you should tell, yeah, we have deployed that. And he will be showing one Docker file. And guys, they will be asking you to decode the Docker file. What's happening in the step 1, what's happening in the step 2, what you will never remember all these things, guys, because we will never byhead anything. So whatever file they have given, you just need to decode it. Is it clear? Guys, this week from tomorrow till Friday, every day is a very, very important class, guys. Every day we will be deploying one project on Docker, one Angular, React, Python, HTML, .NET. Every day one project is there that we will be deploying to Docker. And the steps also will be, every day we will take a new approach, guys. One day we will see Windows systems. Another day we will be seeing in Linux machine. Another day on cloud. So guys, if you don't miss this week classes for sure. Okay. Are you all getting, guys?
Yes, sir.
It is very, very important, guys. If you don't understand, don't bother to stop me. You just stop me there itself and you just ask me whatever question you want to ask, because in interview, they will be asking hundreds of questions from this topic, guys. If you're able to understand this and if you're able to deploy all these things, getting a job is very easy, guys. Believe me. So today's topic, what we have learned, guys. Accessing VM configure and Docker introduction. I have taken half an hour to.
Welcome to LWP Labs. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to view free Azure DevOps live classes. And for more videos like this, please contact the number shown in the description. Happy learning!